YouTube. Figured I would come on. This is something I was getting messages about today, so I figured I'd come on and give you the 411. I got my iPhone working again. Anywho, kind of try to keep this empty because anytime the phone rings, just have issues there. So this is a better camera on here anyway. I just wish I had more memory. I'm actually going to go out, I think, in a little bit after I do this, and I'm going to go around town, and I'm going to be doing my own oracle deck. So I'm going to go out and take some pictures and stuff around the area. That way I have the pictures for my oracle deck that I'm going to be doing. I also want to do my own tarot deck too. So it has more to do with Native American stuff. Anyways, I wanted to get into a spiritual principle and talk about why certain places are haunted and other places are not, and or why places are dormant for a long period of time until the energy there gets woken up. Listen, a lot of people are afraid of what they can't understand. I know, I was there. Hello. I know. Same with me. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. A lot of us have spiritual gifts. A lot of us have been born with a destiny and a purpose. We were born to bring in a new era. Yes. Here's where I'm going with this. Every person has an aura. Every person, when you were born, you have a specific destiny and purpose. You can walk as a sleeper agent, which many are this day and age. They're sleepers. Many of us weren't allowed to be sleepers. God had to shake us up and wake us up and be like, look, you're here for a reason and a purpose. And we do have free will, but then we just have to keep coming back and getting beaten down and keep doing this thing again and again and again until we submit it. So we can do it the fun way, or we can basically get pummeled our whole entire soul's existence. That's why a lot of people have been reincarnating over and over and over, because many of us have been stubborn and saying we're not going to fulfill our purpose and our mission. Here's the thing. Oh, thank you. Yeah, feel free. I'm going to try it. I was getting channeled messages when I was up getting around, and I am uploading Aries reading too. I did do theirs. One of the things that the divine was hammering with me is this consistency thing. And I'm like, well, it's very hard, making excuses. It's very hard to be consistent when I'm going through this spiritual awakening here. God, like, this isn't fair. God's like, it's not about being fair. It's about doing what you're called to do, and I'm going to give you strength when you do it. All right, since I was born, I've lived in haunted houses. I've been haunted my whole life. My parents can verify this. Hence why I was a big, scaredy cat, big baby. Here's the thing, when it comes to energy, dark forces, no. Dark forces understand who you are. They knew you better than what you knew you. I would sleep on my parents' floor until I was out of that house. Every house I lived in was haunted. Every single one of them. I remember certain things happening to me. And here's the thing. It wasn't technically the house. It was the environment. It was waking up the environment. Okay? However, what happens is, when dark forces have made a stranglehold on a specific area or territory, and the divine creator chooses to put one of his chosen ones in that, and I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. This has zero to do with me being better than it. This just has to do with the God essence on the inside of me to shake up the environment. everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. Every place that and this is exactly what the people who I'm connecting with, they will understand this. Everywhere we've gone, we can call out the dark forces that are there. We can make them submit to our will. And yeah, there is certain things that we can do to disturb environments that if we wouldn't have done those things, the environment would have stayed dormant. Maybe. However, we are this big energy that dark forces have been occupying territory. You know, just freely. Nobody's come in to challenge them. Nobody's energy has come in to actually give them a run for their money. So when your energy shows up in these places, they get freaked out. They do. It freaks them out. So they get stirred up. Well, the thing is they've been in, right now, the divine creator is allowing everybody's gifts, and we've seen it on the peace dealer, and the stuff with awakening our spirit, our powers, our superpowers. The divine creator has been awakening people to who they really are. And the thing is until you know who you are, you just think you're being haunted. When there's actually a bigger lesson and a bigger purpose behind all of this as to why it's happening. Not that we're better than anybody else. Here's what the download I got. No, I'm glad. The download that I got about all of this is we were never meant to take over territory. We were meant to occupy territory. We were never meant to seize territory and take it. No, we were meant to occupy. And it's who was occupying this territory before? Were they doing it with kindness and goodness and, you know? Because trust me, there have been, you'll find strongholds in certain areas and pockets of this dark force energy. In places where there was murder, trauma, just terrible things that people have done in humanity. War, people being taken out before their time. Hi, Marley. How are you? And that creates a pocket of dark force energy and strongholds in a specific area. Now, when your soul essence showed up on the scene, guess what? Those dark forces were like, oh shit, there's somebody here with power and authority that can overthrow us. So guess what we're going to do? This person, they've been watching you. This person don't know who they are yet. This person has no idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to haunt the shit out of them, and we're going to scare the shit out of them, and we're going to make their life a living hell. And hopefully they won't wake up. Hopefully they'll just want to run away and be a pussy and go back to sleep. And then, when you start going through this spiritual awakening and you start tapping into your divine self and God starts doing miracles through you, dark force energy has no choice but to back up and back away from the raging fire that's about to take place. They will run and flee and try and come back at a more opportune time through tests, temptations, just create havoc for your life. The divine wants us to occupy territory. We're supposed to inhabit. We're supposed to take care of it. We're supposed to occupy until his energy can, our creator's energy can be enveloped throughout the whole earth. That's why we are strategically placed all along these ley lines and all along these strategic areas where he needed people, vessels to work through. It wasn't necessarily that no, he needed somebody who was going to submit and be like, all right, like I'm taking this, not necessarily this territory, not take it, but occupy. I need somebody to be willing to occupy and not be afraid. And honestly, be able to call down the fucking fire on dark forces. Period. We are not called to run. We are not called to hide. We are called to stand in our light and our truth. Enough of backing down. Just because people might not like what you do. People might not like what you say. People might not like who the fuck you are. Well, oh well. God created us to be a big ball of light here and allow the divine creator's creativity to flow through you. Here's my challenge to everybody. Where did the creator put you? And I'm not saying just physical location. I'm saying in realms of society. Where did the creator put you to occupy? What job did he put you in? What profession did he put you in? What mountain did he say, all right, you're my chosen person for this task and this mission? Are you going to back down? Are you going to let somebody else occupy the territory that you're supposed to occupy? We're supposed to rip these dark forces off of these high mountains. Because I'm telling you what, I yell at the divine all the time. Like, what do you want me to do? You need to bless me because I can't continue to go on like this, God. Just take me off this planet, doggone it. And God's like, no, you got a bigger purpose and mission than that. You ain't getting out of it that easy, blue flame. You're connected to me. The thing is what we speak out of our mouth manifest. In one way or another. It's all about the intent of your heart, too. That's why one of the things that the divine creator knows about every single person he's stuck on this planet. There's sleeper cells here right now, folks. We have sleepers that are awakening up and their mask is falling off. And whether they're evil, you're going to see it. The veil is thin. People can't hide who they really are anymore. I'm just here to rile up the troops at this point. And to understand you're not just some peon who's been trained and knows certain things with a certain profession. No, you're called to occupy and be a light in that area. In the physical realm and in the spiritual realm, you're to stand in your authority. When God told me I was going to be going into the occult, I laughed. I was like, yeah, right. Bible thumper, yeah, I doubt I'm going to be going into the occult. But okay, whatever you say, God. Thank you. I'm glad that you're here. I laughed. And God's like, no, I'm putting you into the darkest of the dark where people are doing witchcraft and people are pulling in dark force energy so that you could be the buffer to stop it. So that you could be the exact pull. There needs to be more polarity. They've stolen my ancient gifts and my technology and have been using it to pull in dark force energy. I'm putting you, I know, here I am. I'm putting you, and you know, I went and I told a few people that was there, because this was at a conference. And they're like, I don't think that was God. And I'm thinking, I don't think that either. Why would God want to put me in the occult? Like, what the hell is that? Like, this is back in 2005, before really YouTube existed. How in the heck, when God told me I was going to be helping here in America, yeah, right. When God speaks something over your life and God makes a way, you best listen and wake up and pay attention to what you're being shown. You're here for a reason. You're here to be a light. You're not here to, one of the other things that I was getting when I was getting around is every single place where you have authority, you're to we overcome darkness with love. And love sometimes looks like discipline. Love sometimes does look like it would be harsh words. You know, and that's one thing where it's like, for me, I'm like, ugh, I don't like to be yelled at. I don't mind if God's doing it, but when other people are coming at me and it's just like, I've been attacked my whole life, that was a trigger response for me to then to be like, you know, and then like I went to the other extreme where it was like, I just became a doormat for all these freaking narcissists, which I thank all the narcissists at this point. They taught me a lot about myself. But we have to see both polarities, because I'm telling you what, I was the last person people wanted to fuck with way back in the day. I was. I had no problem with throwing down right in front of my house. I gave no shits. Someone came here to my house and they tried to, yeah, I occupied. The only fines I ever got was for beating bitches. Not even joking. I mean, I got a few speeding tickets here or there, but the only thing I really got in trouble, well, I got a DUI once for .086. I'm throwing my dirt out there. I didn't do anything wrong, technically. Yeah, I shouldn't have gotten behind the wheel at having 2 drinks. I get that. Because it was against the law. Not against God's law, but against the law. So, like I said, I have nothing to hide. I've lost family. I've lost friends. I've lost people who I cared about, that I dated. Because I was done putting up with people misusing me and abusing me. And I had to put my foot down. People aren't coming to me with pure motive. If they're just coming to be an energy vampire and steal my light, God showed me this. I can't just be open to just anybody anymore. I had to put a buffer there. However, we are called to be kind to people. Sometimes if you're dealing with something and you know that somebody's an energy vampire, you can't be fucking with them. Excuse my mouth. I know I'm cussing a little bit, but God made me like this. I'm an Aries sun with Jupiter there. Not that that's an excuse, but it kind of is. Like, I'm raw and I'm real. This is what you're going to get with me. You ain't going to get lies. You're not going to get me blowing smoke up your ass. I'm going to tell you the way it is. I'm going to tell you how God showed me. I hope that you appreciate it. That somebody's going to actually speak truth to you. We're not to be going and attacking people. We're supposed to be speaking truth in life so that somebody can wake up. I do like that smoke. I don't mind the smoke. However, you know, the biggest thing that upsets me, I don't mind people disagreeing with me either, if we can sit down and have a conversation about it. But we don't need to be accusing people. Love is what is going to turn this world around. It's not hate. It's love. That is the spiritual principle. This is the vibration that we're supposed to be walking at. And this is the very thing that freaks out dark forces. And I'm not saying, yeah, there is disembodied spirits, just until they can reincarnate into another body or possess somebody. And yeah, these dark forces or disembodied spirits, they can affect us energetically because we have an energetic resonance. We have to understand our power. We're not just, look, most people get it twisted. They think this is who you are. They think that this body is who you are. It's not. It's your spirit that's just in a meat suit that God can use as a vessel in this time to spread love and goodness and kindness and truth. He gave you a voice. He gave you ears. He gave you eyes. He gave you discernment. He gave you spiritual power and authority to overcome everything that you're going through. I'm not saying I'm perfect, and I haven't done this perfect. However, if I can be a light in a very dark community and occupy, that's one of the things I've been asking the divine. Take the doggone restrictions off my channel. Like, I'm ready. Yeah, I mean, I needed a lot of the kinks worked out, and I probably still do. We're always going to be refined, because we do have a sinful nature, whatever that is. We're not perfect. However, we're supposed to be looking more and more and more like the Christ that walked this earth. Actually, no. Let me rephrase that. Like the Christ that ascended to the throne, that stands next to the right hand of God. We're supposed to be walking in that light. That's why Jesus said, anything you ask for, I give it to you. Because you have the Holy Spirit. They didn't have that. That was, most people are like, oh yes, I thank God because Jesus saved me. It's not about salvation, folks. It's about walking in power and authority and freaking out all these dark forces. That's why I'm here. Activated, and to activate every single one of you into who you are as a divine being. You're not some peon. Understand, when you take, if dark forces ain't freaking out when you put your feet on the ground every day, you got to be starting to wonder why. Just saying. We need to know who we are. Jesus came to make us victorious and powerful. He didn't come here to be worshipped either. Let's not get it twisted. People are like, well, I worship Jesus. And no, he wanted us to worship the divine creator. He never pointed to himself. He always pointed to the divine. And then what did they do? They made another religion out of it. Jesus never said, make another religion after me. He didn't. He wanted to connect us to the Father again. Because with the fall of Adam, there was a divine disconnect. So he broke that curse so that we could be reunified. So that we could be walking out our power, out our mission and our power and our purpose of why we're here. To occupy. And to kick these dark forces right into gonads. And right out of our sphere of influence. They should be afraid, really afraid of you. You shouldn't be afraid of any kind of ghost or any kind of... I get it, it's freaky. When this stuff first starts happening to you, or you really start noticing it, because I can guarantee for a long time we were asleep to it. And we just think things were coincidence. I know I did. We just thought it was a coincidence. Oh, did you just see that thing fall off? The countertop? Oh yeah, that a wind must have blew it. Where did I put those keys? Where did I put those car keys? Can't find them. Where's those car keys? You're looking around the house, what? 45 minutes trying to make, you're almost late for wherever you got to go. Next thing, you go back and you look and they're right where you looked at the first time. And you're like, what the hell? That's the type of shit I'm talking about. That's the type of stuff that had happened to me. And I guarantee everybody else, because you open up a supernatural dimension everywhere you go. When God says it's time to activate, it's time to activate. When God says it's time to occupy, it's time to occupy. That's where we are. We are coming into a very, very, very critical period. And an inflection point. Yeah, me too. All the time. I have doors opening and slamming. I have, shit missing. I've already had, and this was a long time ago. Could have swore, way back when. Could have swore I ended up putting this big stack of freaking, it was my income tax check. I thought for sure I put it freaking in the bank. I had no idea it was even missing. I opened up my glove box 8, 9 months later, after this time. There's a stack of fucking money like this sitting there for me. Like, those are the blessings I'm talking about. Like, how did that get there? I didn't even realize. See, I'd never, until I really started getting on my path and my purpose and my mission, I never wanted for anything. And as soon as it seems like you start walking in your divine purpose and your mission, all hell comes against you for a reason. They want to stop us. They want to stop you. They want to stop me. And they want to stop whatever the divine creator is trying to do. You are a chosen person. You need to start walking in it. I understand it's scary. I understand a lot of this stuff doesn't make any sense. But this is our life. It's a supernatural life. Just our sheer presence opens up vortexes. We don't even have to try. It just happens. And it freaks out the energy that's there. Now, yes, a lot of people will say, when you do certain things to a house, like remodeling and stuff like that, that energy gets stirred up. That has been dormant for a while. And that is true. But then when your energy is there as what, like, explain to me, extremely. Not to mention when there's a lot of trauma on a land and you're a healer, you have divine healing gifts, and there's dark forces that are just rotten. You show up on the scene, they're like, oh shit, we're about to get kicked out of here. They don't really know, like I said, they don't really know who they are yet. They don't know the power that they hold, so we need to stop this person. Dark forces aren't stupid. They've been here for millions of years. Yep. Not just native blood. White man blood, too. Wasn't just natives. However, people would do their rituals. Absolutely. Here's the difference between white man and Native Americans. Native Americans occupied. White man wanted to conquer. White man. We are here to be stewards of the earth. We weren't here to conquer it. Yeah. All types of blood. The thing is when you have healing, a healing anointing, you can come and bring peace to those areas. And that's what we're called to do. Are you going to stand in your purpose? Or are you going to just let dark forces run amok? Your prayers are extremely powerful. Your emotions are extremely powerful. Yes. I live right on a fort, guys. Fort Augusta. It was a British stronghold. Well, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please feel free to subscribe and like. Yeah, I do things very unconventionally here on my channel. I do. God has called me into a very, very dark community, and I've seen shifts from witchcraft, pure black magic witchcraft in this community, to more people wanting to find God for themselves and actually see that there's some of us in this community that we don't do that whole spell work. And I mean, in that sense, we aren't doing potions type of, and we're not sending out dark magic. And I mean, here's the thing, every day people are doing spell work, whether we realize it or not. Every day we're doing spell work. Your thoughts, your words, you create. You're co-creating. It's just a matter of who you're co-creating with. Are you co-creating with dark forces, or are you co-creating with the divine? Those are your two choices. Some people choose to co-create with dark forces, and that's their karma. These cards are just a tool that God gave me to be able to infiltrate and occupy with divine light. Has nothing to do, I'm not a witch. I don't do witchcraft. I'm not going to defend myself either. God has defended me more times than I can count. And I've told people, you don't like what I do? Pray for me. I need your prayer anyway. Take it up with the divine. It's all good. I don't hate you because you believe different than me. It's fine. God didn't create everybody to be the same. The only people that do things the same are communist. No offense, but dead ass. You have to wear the same clothes, drive the same, like they want to, everybody has to do everything the same. Have you noticed this? If you come against somebody's belief, they want to attack. Instead of trying to understand where you're coming from and maybe get a different point of view, and you can come into a common knowledge of one another and still love each other. It's not about attacking and forcing religion or forcing your way on somebody else. God gave us everybody free will. God loves everybody. I don't give a shit. Even the sleepers. If someone wants to use dark magic, that's fine. I don't prefer it. They're going to have to, it's not my karma. So we're not here to judge. Yeah, we are here to cast judgment on these dark forces. We're not here to cast judgment upon people and other people's souls. Thank you. That's why if somebody's of a different faith, look. I know people who have went from Christian to Muslim to Jewish, they've tried, and none of these religions seem to have any power behind them. They're all rules for control. God doesn't want us to control each other. God wants us to be free, to be who he created us to be, not who society says we're supposed to be. God's much bigger than that. We're called to love each other. That's where we're at. And the thing is God's showing me all this divisive shit that's happening in the world. I just don't like dark forces, okay? That is my contention. It's not any specific person. It's the dark forces that are driving people. We're called to call them out. Jealousy, greed, envy, hate. There's no room for that in God's. That's all low vibrational energy. That's the lower realm energy. We're supposed to live in the upper realm. Anyway, I'm going to pull an oracle card for the people who are on here. So, I just got these out because I was looking, I'm like, I want some new cards. I got a lot of cards, but I felt wow. Am I clear on what my soul really wants? Take out the shoulds and the limitations. Get out of your head and pay attention to your heart's desires instead. If you knew it wasn't possible to fail, what would you do? Wherever you go, go with all your heart. Today's soul action. Ask yourself what it is that your soul really wants. What does your heart crave? Then take one step in that direction. The divine will show you. What is it your soul really wants? What is my take on Kylie? I can get into that if you'd like to hear. Because if I told you how I knew, most people would be like, what the yeah, right. But no, I'll tell you how I knew. Um, I saw Ryan come out, and there's only a few cases that I really watch. Okay, there's only a few that, like, Gabby was one of them. I pulled cards on Brian Laundrie and that whole situation, and I knew before she was ever even found that he killed her, through what the tarot cards were telling me. I also think that there was something that had to do with him with those two women in Moab. I'm positive of it. There's a connection there. However, I don't think it's the connection that we would expect the connection to be. With Kylie, this is just me thinking outside the box and abstractly, okay? This is stuff that probably most people wouldn't even think of. But anyway, when Ryan did his thing, I pulled cards on it. And I'm like, God, where is this girl? And the cards that I pulled, in the pictures on the cards, it was the Six of Swords with the Eight of Cups. Oh, well, I'm glad that you're here. I pulled cards on this because it was disturbing to me. And when I was pulling those cards, I actually had a friend who did drive into, she went up to Maine. I knew this girl from the time we were in preschool together. And we were supposed to go on vacation, and something, I'm just kind of getting off track, and I'll tell you why I feel the way I do. My friend went up to Maine crabbing. She went up there with a friend. We had ended up not going to the beach like we were going to, so she still had vacation time. She ends up going to Maine. She went crabbing. That day, she was hiking. They got lost. She was with her friend and the dog. Well, they ended up getting found by a local there, and they were able to find their way back to the vehicle. By this time, the fog rolled in up in Maine, and, well, she took a wrong turn off of a boat ramp and drove straight into the Atlantic Ocean. Drowned. This girl was very prepared. She had window knockers. However, they weren't in her vehicle. They were in her friend's vehicle. They all drowned. My friend was very good when it comes to being able to swim and all of that kind of stuff. She was like the good Girl Scout, always be prepared, okay? Now, if she drowned like that, my whole thing on Kylie, when that Eight of Cups came out and it showed the way this Eight of Cups card is, which I have those cards upstairs, it shows all these cups laying on the ground, and this guy standing looking out over top a body of water with the moon there. That was the image I got when it came to that picture that they showed of all those kids looking down the road at that party. No, I don't think I think it's foul play. If anybody here can sit there and say, yeah, this happens, people drive into bodies, I'm the one that can say it. The divine creator specifically told me it was foul play from the beginning. God told me she was in the water. However, I didn't want to believe that. I honestly thought, like, I was hoping for the best, like, even though it wouldn't be the best if she was taken or something like that. Who knows what kind of trauma she would have went through. Well, when I was saying foul play from the beginning, most people didn't want to believe me, and they didn't say that until, I was so happy that Adventures with Purpose came out, and they said what they did, because they actually had the proof. Thank you, Mama Church. Please, everybody, subscribe. I do appreciate it. Now, I'm going to go into something a little bit deeper than this. If you want to know what I think, this is my opinion. Because of the timing of all of this, and I don't want to get political here, but I'm going to a little bit. I think a lot of this is a distraction. Every August, something happens right before a big event, a big global event. I love Patty too. Have you guys noticed this? Something happens right before a big global event. And to distract us last year, it was with Gabby and Brian, there was a freaking Afghanistan happen right at the same time to distract us from what was actually going on with our own corruption here in the world. And I'm thinking they're not releasing that information with Kylie. And please stay focused, people. They're not releasing the information with Kylie until November at the earliest, they said. What's happening in the United States of America in November? Now, I'm not one way or the other. I think Republicans suck and I think Democrats suck. However, we clearly know that we were safer under one administration. I like Upchurch songs too. People's Champ is one of my favorite. Actually, Parachute is my favorite Upchurch song. So, 100 years from now, I'll be cruising in the clouds. 1,000 angels in the crowd, but for right now, yeah, I'm on a lonely rock, hiding in a lonely spot. Lonely is the only time. Parachute me, I'm coming back down, bitches. See, I know. I listen to church. I'd like to meet him too someday. Actually, I want to meet his mom. I want to meet Patty. Me and her have a connection that, because we have this spiritual thing. Both of us use tarot cards. Both of us, I knew that I had I had a connection with her because of, she's like a long lost sister, I feel, to me. I'd love to meet her in person someday, you know? Even if I don't mind connecting up like this though too. Here's the thing. That is my take. I think a lot of this is a big ass distraction. I have the gift too. And I want you all to stand in your gifts. Walk in love, please. This is how we overcome the darkness on this earth. Is by walking in our power and our purpose. Don't be a sheep. Don't be a yes man person. Stand in who you're created to be. And I think, honestly, when we understand who we are and are comfortable enough in who we are, it's not going to matter what anyone else says about us. It's not. You have to absolutely question everything. We have to understand that we are not just a body here taking up space. What a boring life that would be. We're actually here for a purpose. I'm here to wake up the light workers who have been asleep. To stand up in who they are as a person. Well, I don't know a whole lot about Bieber, but I felt bad for Justin Bieber. He took the shot and all that stuff happened to him. The corruption and the evil things that people have done to humanity. If you have healing gifts, I fully believe that you can help aid in the energetic healing of people. Yeah, exactly. All smoke and mirrors. And people have been getting really distracted. I accept my crazy too. Folks, this is it. I understand people don't want to think in terms that could this really be, this is the end of the age. I'm not saying it's the end of the world, but it's the end. The light is about to come forth. And it comes forth through us. We have to be the light. You know, and that's one of the things I appreciate about Upchurch and stuff. I'm just going to say this. I'm not kissing his ass. Don't get it twisted, because there's things that he does say that I don't always agree with. But he wouldn't get pissed off if I don't agree with him. You know, but I understand his psychology of why he's doing some of the things he's doing. I got a PhD from dealing with narcissists. Okay? I did. And Ryan's going through a spiritual awakening too. I do have healing abilities. When those got activated, that's when my whole life fell apart. When God woke me up back in 2005, and I was getting all those words, and I knew I got healing gifts. I legit saw people who were possessed. I've helped pray for. Actually, when I started praying over the person, they started manifesting demonically and throwing up. It's very real, folks. I went to Brazil on a missions trip. But we're not robots. We can agree to disagree, but we can also look at every side. Yes. And we don't have to attack. Why do we have to attack? One of the things, Ryan's going to be a leader of this next generation, whether people want to care or not. He is. Ryan's voice is extremely powerful. God has given him a platform and Ryan will be held accountable for the authority that God has given him. The thing is we not supposed to be yes man. But we're supposed to pray for Ryan. They do. And we can all agree to disagree with things. Like I said to Patty in a few lives through the comments, I'm like, Ryan, I see what's going on with Ryan. He's going through a spiritual awakening. And his discernment, God's training him to use his discernment. And people don't like that. They don't like free thinkers. They want everybody to think like they actually sit there and project onto us or him or whatever. They want to project their insecurities on us. When you're walking in your power and authority that God has given you, you're going to start, you will get tested. Most people don't pass the test. They get scared. They don't stand up for what they believe in. And that's one of the tests that we are called to pass. If you don't even believe in yourself, who else is going to believe in you? Because I know God believes in you. God put those desires and gifts on the inside of you for a reason. Just, we have to be the ones who walk that out. We cannot shrink back from who we are anymore. Let your soul essence come, your full soul essence of the goodness of who you are. And that is what glorifies God. Okay? It's not up here standing here being like, no, it's you walking out your purpose. And you staying in obedience to who you are and staying true to yourself. That is what glorifies God. Because people, here's what we can't do though. And here's what happens with the downfall of a lot of leaders and leadership. They want all the glory. God says, nobody touch my glory. You're just a vessel. Even Jesus didn't touch the divine creator's glory. Jesus never wanted worshipped. Jesus just made the way. He broke the curse. So that we all could be reconnected to our God and our divine creator. That's it. That's the whole reason. That's the whole point. Most people, I'm just a sinner saved by grace. Well, you keep living that way. And that's what you're going to manifest. That sinner saved by grace is going to have to come back and live this life over and over until you stand up and know who the heck you are. As a child of the Most High. We are not some peon, folks. I don't give a shit what country you live in. I don't care. You're not a peon. If you're manifest in this world, right now, if you may manifest in this world, you need to stand in your truth and stand in the goodness of who God created you to be. And that in itself glorifies God. Christians got it all back. All. Thanks. I appreciate that reflection. Christians got it all backward. They think, well, I'm just going to criticize. And I'm not trying to be cruel here. So don't get it, if you're religious, well, be religious. However, I'm just going to point out the flaws of what's holding you back. And it's not in a mean way or a boast. I'm not trying to be that way. But I am going to try and get you to think. Instead of you understanding that you giving your life to the Creator, people accept Jesus in their heart. What does that mean? What does that mean? What did that mean to you? You allowed the Holy Spirit to come and live on the inside of you. The divine Creator's sheer essence is a part of who you are at this point. Have reconnected to the Creator. What dark forces don't want you to know is you got power and authority now. And that's why a lot of Christians get attacked. That's why a lot of Christians, they get indoctrinated in a church. And then they have to live by the church rules. And church was always controlling. Instead of having freedom. And that's why we're not to judge one another. God's made manifest through love. And love is an action. It's a verb. It's not a noun. I love you means I'm going to prove it every single day by my actions. It's not just saying it. It's not just some feeling. It's doing the work. And just your obedience and doing what's right and having a moral fiber about you. Making people feel good about themselves. Not making them feel like a sinner just saved by grace. That's not who we are as a people. It's not who we're supposed to be. We're supposed to walk in power and authority. And yes, absolutely, we thank God. But we're supposed to pray without ceasing. What does that mean? Every word that comes out your mouth is to glorify the Creator too. If it's not under the jurisdiction of the fruits of the Spirit, which is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, mercy, and self-control, you're operating underneath a dark force energy. And yes, we can be a little bit... We're our worst critics, by the way, people. Most people just... And that's when they know people can attack you. Because they know that the human psyche, we are our own worst critic. So they're just verifying what... And that, a lot of times, is what has held a lot of people back. Especially by authority figures. This is just some of the principles that I've been getting, and I felt like I was supposed to share with you today. I kind of got off subject of what I came on here to, but I kind of just went with my gut instinct and where I felt like I was supposed to go with this. Anyways, try and stay high vibing. Yes, it's very much them projecting at the end of the day. It's whether or not we're going to come into agreement. That's why God says where 2 or 3 are gathered, I am there. So when you come into agreement with that thought form, you're actually aligning with that being able to take precedence in your life and be able to create a negative response or reality. And you to start thinking negatively about yourself. Instead of being like, that's not what God says about me. And I only listen to what God says about me. Yeah, I might not do everything right. I might not do everything correct. But it doesn't negate the fact I'm still God's kid. Make sense? All right. Guys, I've been on here for almost an hour. I am going to get off of here. I just wanted to come on and do a quick talk. Like I said, I was getting downloads today. And God started revealing some things, and I felt like I needed to come on and share. I hope that this helped. I hope that this gave you a different perspective. Absolutely, certain areas are more haunted than others. Going back to that. Depending on what traumas has happened in that area. If God has also showed me ways of ridding that stuff. And sometimes we need more than just ourselves. Yeah, I mean, we can keep at bay dark forces, but if you legit want to kick them out of a space, especially if they're demonic, there's a difference between disembodied spirits and demonic ones. Big difference. I've had both here in my house. So I haven't had any since I moved back, but when I lived in another town and then I came back here. This was my house. I rented it out. When I came back, there was a dark force energy here. Someone had used a Ouija board and opened up a whole vortex here, and I had to have a shaman come in twice. Plus myself. I mean, legit, it was bad. And I finally feng shuied my whole house and cleaned it all out and remodeled it all, and I got that negative energy out of here. And there's still more stuff that I'm working on. Either way, make sure that you're occupying. We're not just here taking up space. We're here occupying in whatever realm of or sphere of influence. Whether you're a mom or a dad or a classmate or you're a teacher or you're a doctor or you better be walking in your divine calling and purpose. And you better be obedient to what the Creator is telling you to do. Whatever realm of reality or whatever sphere of influence, God is, like me, it's a part of the internet. I have to make sure that I got to be careful now. Because I co-create with the words I speak and with the thoughts I think. That's why taking those fiery darts captive is important. I'm seeing it all the time. I'm going to have to come on here and talk about the synchronicities of the shit I've saw. Just in manifesting. And I don't even have to speak it out. And God's like, no, even if you're thinking these thoughts now, you're going to see them manifest. And I'm like, oh no. I got to start changing the way I think. And then when I speak it out, it's even more powerful. Just, I got a quick, for instance, last night on my live, I was talking about my Scorpio. And he was one that would always see me be able to predict to a T horse races, Super Bowls, football winnings. And he couldn't figure out how I did it. I didn't even know how I did it. But I was right almost all the time. Almost every time. Anytime I put my finger... If he disagreed with me, God would always prove me right. It seems like whenever he agrees with me, though, I'm trying to figure out how to manifest with this dude. So I'm thinking, you just have to disagree with me. Put money on who I say. Well, last night I'm like, watch, we both agreed on the same thing, because I was like, well, it could be Seattle, but nah, I think Denver's going to... My gut's telling me Denver, and then he's like, yeah, I would think so too. Well, I said, watch Denver not win now, because he agreed. And that's exactly what happened. They lost by a point. Doggone it. And I'm sure I'm going to not hear the end of it. Because you're going to be like, well, you were wrong. Well, stop agreeing with me then. That's what I'm talking about. Trying to figure out how to manifest this type of stuff, you know? Anyway, I love you. I just had to kind of throw that out there. Be careful what you're thinking. And be careful what you're speaking. They might have won if I would have just seriously put it out into the ethers and just let it go. No, I had to say, watch him not win now. That's the type of manifesting stuff I'm talking about. Anyway, I love you guys. Thanks again for stopping by the channel. If you haven't liked and subscribed, feel free to share this with anybody else who you think could use an encouraging word. That's why I'm here. I'm here to spread goodness and light. And yeah, sometimes, look, I'm a fighter by nature. I'm an Aries sun. I'm a fighter by nature. And I have a big heart and a big lover too. It's just, some things I just can't tolerate. I cannot tolerate injustice. Being silent in the face of darkness, I can no longer do. So if you love me, you do. If you don't, hey, we can agree to disagree. Anyway, y'all take care. And who should I do the reading for tomorrow? Aries is uploaded probably by now, but Aquarius, you guys are next. Okay, I'm gonna be doing general messages for the signs. So God put me in this community. I just have to be a light. Don't judge me because I read the tarot and I'm very good at it. I never took a tarot class in my life. That's the type of supernatural stuff I'm talking about. I have probably 150 decks in this house. And I know how to read pretty well every one of them. I love you guys. Take care, and we'll talk soon. Bye.